Welcome, race fans, to tonight's broadcast of the Folds of Honor Quick Trip 250 at Atlanta Motor Speedway, presented by the NAVSCAR Racing League. I'm Mike Fair. Joining me tonight in the booth to call all the racing on the track is Jamie Christensen and Dustin Phillips. Dustin, it's good to have you back in the booth, buddy.
Yeah, guys, good to be back, man. It's definitely looking forward to this race. Just love to be in the booth and up here down on pit road talking with you guys.
Another week in the books after that great race last week at Daytona. Jamie, what did you think about that race?
You know, that was an interesting race. You know, a lot of the drivers, and talking to them, you know, they say it's anybody. You could be in the 40, you could start 43rd and win that race, and it's a different style of racing, and I think some like it, some don't, and some were really happy to move on to a standard mile-and-a-half track and really kind of try out their driving style where it's a little bit less dependent on the guy next to you or behind you. So I think we got a lot of drivers pretty excited about the race tonight.
Yeah, definitely a lot different than last week. We got cars on the track for our first open qualifying session of the season. Jamie, you want to explain that to our viewers?
Sure. You know, it's pretty much standard if you're a follower of NASCAR, but if you're not, pretty much all the cars are required to do a qualifying lap. And get out there and so we can get a starting order. It's pretty standard. They can't reset the car, so they have to run it without having any incidents to get a qualifying time. So I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I don't think there's any real mystery to it. I mean, there are advantages to having somebody in front of you to get a quicker qualifying time, but it's everybody's got that opportunity. So,
Dustin, what do you think about the different formats, single car versus open qualifying?
I've always kind of liked the closed qualifying, the one lap. But I tell you what, this brings a nice twist to we're trying to follow what NAVSCAR does. And I tell you what, these guys do a pretty good job of it. They have a strategy to it. The open qualifying is definitely puts it on the driver. They can't go out and reset their car or anything, so it definitely puts them to make a smart lap. Maybe not overdrive it, but still put down a pretty solid lap.
So right now, leading the driver is Calvin Allison in the 28 car. Put down a flyer. He's done 2 laps. He got his time, and then he parked it. So he's happy with that. 28.066. He's out in front of Sean Butler right now by 0.2 of a second. Sorry, 0.02 of a second.
Yeah, Kelvin's always fast. I just raced with him on Monday. He was fast there over in our sister league over in Red Light, and he's just consistent week after week. Going back to one of his questions that we asked him previously, he kind of talked about his driving style, and he kind of explains it as it's something he can turn on like a switch. He can play conservative. He can play that aggressive role. He feels that he has confidence in the vehicle to be able to do what he needs to do on the track, depending on the situation. And I think he proves that every time he goes out there. So the only time it does get interesting, I think, with Calvin is when you do put him a little bit further back in the field. We've seen a couple times where he's had to play catch up, and as a result had to come through the field, and he's no exception. He's got to deal with the other drivers that are around him as he's doing that. And I think that when he's out front, he's at his best. When he's going through the field, it's probably his second best. But those are those unique things that we got to watch as he's doing that. So
with tonight's race, you talk about coming through the field. Do you want to start this race on the front, or you want to play it safe and start it in the back? What do you think is the safest bet tonight?
Well, I definitely think you want to start out front. There's not a lot of room on this track. Dustin can talk about it. I know Dustin's done some laps out here already. There's just not a lot of room. There's probably enough for maybe 2 wide for a little while, but the tires are going to fall off quick and they're going to start drifting up, and so you got to be really cognizant around it. If choice is mine, I want to be up front. Dustin?
I think he agrees with you.
I think he does too.
We all know I agree with you. I think you're right. I think the front is the place to start. Especially this is the type of track that if you've got speed, you can get away from the guys behind you. You don't it's not Daytona. We're not going to suck up. We're not going to all run in a pack. If you've got speed, you can put down a pretty big gap, and the larger the gap, the more comfortable you feel. So I think we're starting up front here as well.
Yeah, guys, I'm sorry about that delay there. I down on pit road talking to a couple of drivers. I definitely think starting up front is going to be the key tonight. I think guys are going to get racy. Goodyear's brought a tire here this race. It's definitely a little softer, and it definitely goes away pretty quick after about 10 laps. So green flag runs are going to be anywhere from 30 to 35 laps, and just depending on how much you take care of your equipment. So guys are going to take care of their tires. It's going to be the key tonight. So definitely going to be interesting to see how these guys handle the track and handle each other around them.
Yeah, I heard a couple guys saying that they were worried about those long runs. A green flag run here is definitely much longer than comfortable tires. So we'll see that goes and what guys really decide to do when they come in on those cautions or if they have to come in during a green flag stop, what they take, 2 or 4. But I think we're going to see a lot of 4 tires this race.
Yeah, Mike, Dustin, I think it's one of those things too where we talked about last week. We knew we were going to be at Daytona. We knew there was going to be a big one, but I think Atlanta brings a whole nother style of a big one. Like I said, I hate to keep going back to it, but because there isn't a whole lot of room on this track, if there's a restart and you've got a lot of cars bunched up together, you definitely don't want to be in the middle of that because it's probably going to collect a lot of cars.
Yeah, and you've only got that one quick repair, so you don't really want to be collected in anything. This isn't the type of track where you're going to get, a little bit of damage and be able to, be okay. I think you kind of want your car in good shape, and if you get collected with a car coming off turn 4, just like we saw there with a car getting loose and going across the infield, it's a big hit. It's not something you're going to be able to drive away from.
Yeah, I would agree, and I think the other thing too to be mindful of is the exits in these on this track. So when you're exiting 2, exiting 4, you have a tendency, to kind of roll through that corner, get back on that gas, and as those tires start going away, coming out of those corners becomes very treacherous because the back end would just come out on you, and we've seen plenty of times already in practice. Yesterday and again practice tonight, that cars are just getting loose off coming out of those corners, especially when their speed is altered a little bit by having another car around them, making them go faster than what they would normally go by it themselves.
Now, they do say loose is fast, so if you can manage that loose car and power through turn 4, you're going to be quick, but you're always on edge, and it's definitely an experience to be able to run with a loose car here.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting too because I've talked to a couple of the drivers, and it's interesting to hear. We are a fixed series, and so there's only a couple things that you can manipulate. One of them is that steering offset, and I've heard a couple drivers kind of go to the to the negative side a little bit and try to get that car the wheel to turn by default, and as a result. That helps you get around those corners, but at the same time, after the run starts happening, and again, it affects the driving and the handling of the car, and almost makes you overcompensate at times. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out for them.
With that, we've got the checkered flag for qualifying. They're finishing up their last lap here, and we're going to be gridding up for our race. We'll run through the qualifying order just as soon as it gets finalized here. Do want to mention, though, that with the qualifying, with the amount of cars that we have in the track from week to week now, it's a lot more than we're used to here. So I will be flying through the qualifying order. I'm probably not mentioning every driver just because it takes a long time and might not get it done before the green flag, but you'll be able to see just by looking at the overlays which drivers finished in which positions. Let's do a battle of the booth real quick, guys. Last week, we did pick a couple cars, me and Jamie. Jamie, you picked the 7. You got yourself some good points there, 43. I picked Dustin, buddy. I had you, man, 10 points. And, since you were in the car last week, I gave you your self-pick as well for 10 points. So right now, me and Dustin are tied. Jamie, you're out front.
Excellent. Does that mean I get to go first?
No, that means Dustin gets to go first. Who are you picking tonight,
right.
buddy?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with IMF's Sean Butler tonight, man. He's one of those consistent guys, and definitely he's a great addition to the league this year. So I definitely look to see that team being very competitive and fast all year long, and I definitely think he's gonna have something for maybe Calvin here tonight. We'll have to see.
I think I'm going to pick the 28, man. Kelvin starting out front. Got the pole here with 2 laps, so I think I'm going to go with him. He's always fast at this style of track, and I want to see what he can put up tonight. Jamie? Jamie! All right, Jamie's thinking his pick over, and we'll let him think that through, and he'll get us his pick when he gets back. Let's go through the qualifying order here right now. First row, we got Calvin Allison on the inside, Sean Butler on the outside to lead the field to the green. Let's run it through here right here. Almost all the cars are gridding up. They're going to be rolling off here real quick. Craig Sykes, row 4. Joshua Buckley on the outside of that row. David Howard Jr., Timothy Lewis, row 5. 15 of John Frisching Jr., starting back at row 6. Jeff File, outside of row 7. Keith Haney on the inside there. 24, Chris Sharp, row 8. Ricky Goodman and James Skelton had some computer issues, did not take the field. So these guys are going to be coming back here to the green flag as we come around. We're going to be starting our second race of the NAVSCAR Pro Series.
Yeah, Mike, definitely looking forward to getting this thing underway. Definitely got a car here, Goodyear's brought a tire that's going to definitely put the wheel in these guys' hands, and just definitely going to have to conserve tire wear, and as we get ready to go green, it's definitely going to be fun to watch.
Here they go. Green flag is going to be out. These guys are going to bring us to the green. Two by two going into turn 1. See if everybody can keep it together as we exit turn 2. Cars are quickly getting in line here. Not comfortable being on the inside when you got a car on the outside. You don't want to get loose and turn that car around.
For sure, it looks like Calvin's going to lead lap number 1. Definitely, it's going to be faster tonight, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how these guys start to battle around each other.
Yeah, Calvin Allison is putting on a bit of a gap. He probably wants to open up that gap as much as he can at the start of this race. Everyone's pretty close in line. First 1 through 25, 26 cars. Single file. I like that plan, man. I like getting yourself comfortable, figuring out what you got, and then once you get in line, then you want to pick cars off one by one as you go.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to agree with you there, man. These guys need to settle in and just start running their race. And, as tires starting to fall off, you're going to have guys that either save their stuff or burn it up, and then you're going to start to see the shuffle happen. And, it's going to be how good you can dance around everybody here tonight for sure.
So we can see the 2 car on the outside of David Howard Jr. trying to make a pass on the outside.
Yeah, Mike. The outside of this place can be a little tricky, especially out of 4. You definitely gotta strap your belts in tight and hang on, because you're definitely in for a ride. You're gonna see guys go to the top and have success, and you might have guys that might have a little trouble up there. So it's definitely gonna see definitely 2 or 3 lanes here tonight for sure.
I think that outside line is going to help you keep your tires in good shape. If you can get comfortable, if you can get speed, find speed, and pass people on the outside, I think that's the way to go tonight.
Yeah, no doubt. We see Calvin still looks like his lead's shrinking just a little bit, but like I said, the tires are going to start to fall off here as we go, and definitely going to see some guys stretch it out. Definitely some guys fall off more than others. So it's going to be fun to watch this this three-car battle that's developing right now here off the turn 2.
Yeah, those top 3 cars are looking for that lead. Calvin Allison's got it right now, but Sean Butler is definitely closing that gap as he's looking to get maybe a little bit of a run and maybe jump in on the inside as we get into turn 1 here. He's definitely inching every lap.
We hadn't talked much about him this year because he wasn't here at Daytona, but the 5 of Craig Sykes, it's good to have him back here for his sophomore campaign. And I tell you what, man, he's put that car up front here tonight, and he was very quick in practice. So it's good to see the 5 back, and definitely looking forward to seeing how his race develops here tonight.
Yeah, right behind him we got Nate LaFleur's looking for a good turnout here tonight, and you know we always see him up front. He's definitely good at qualifying. He did mention that earlier in the race or during qualifying. He does enjoy that, but I like to see a strong finish from him tonight. Jamie, buddy, you back?
I am back, but I'm still having some technical difficulties. I'll be with you back in a few minutes, hopefully.
Yeah, no worries. Take your time, man.
I did pick DJ Anderson, by the way. That was my pick.
I will take note of DJ's as your pick for sure.
Excellent choice there. That DPM car, we've been working on them all week, man. They definitely pretty speedy here tonight. We'll have to see how that works out.
So I'll tell you, 9 laps in, I'm surprised that we got all these guys sorted out. We got no cautions. These guys are doing a great job 9 laps in.
Yeah, definitely kind of a surprise for me. You know, we saw a lot of guys. You know, like I said, this tire falls off so bad that we're definitely seeing a lot of guys loose off a 4 and a couple off 2. So definitely good to see these guys handling the car and just taking their time and saving their stuff. Really like to see that.
Great move right there by the 925 of Dan Vaglin around the 14 of Timothy Lewis. Just got a nice good run across the start-finish line there, ducked it down and made that pass through 1 and 2. He's got his sights set right now on the 2 car of Joshua Buckley as he's moving forward.
Yeah, I was looking ahead here, and you know, we've got 26 of Dale Albright and the 9 of Kevin Cochran. They fell a little bit off the pace here. Won't be long for those leaders to catch up with them. I don't know if those cars are having a little bit of issue here tonight, but hate to see 26 here early, a little slow.
Yeah, it's okay. Got a long race as long as they can keep themselves on that lead lap. I like Kevin Cochran right now running that new nationwide paint scheme of Dale Jr. It's a very popular paint scheme. Like seeing that car on the track at least once.
Yeah, Kevin usually brings a pretty nice looking ride here, week in and week out. So it's good to see him sporting that. And, you know, as you were just speaking on that, 951 gave up the 3rd spot to Craig Sykes. Looks like he might have raised the wall just a little bit out of 4. Like I said, it's going to be where the guys have trouble here tonight. So depending on how high you want to run, for sure, it's going to definitely affect how your car handles over.
Yeah, we're definitely at, you know, right now those tires are starting to get a little bit more uncomfortable as we see Nate, you know, kind of get a little bit high as well. It's really going to be about who can drive on those, you know, worn out tires.
I tell you what, I just saw John Fershing make the move on the 14 of Timothy Lewis. They're in coming off turn 2, and I tell you what, looked really solid. Looked to really pull up on the 2 there and kind of, you know, maintaining his stuff. But you know, John can be one of those that's trying to save his stuff a little bit. He knows it's a long race, and he's definitely one of those that be there at the end for sure.
We definitely got a good group of cars right here, 7th through 10th, as 15's getting a huge run on them. Has to let up pretty hard here. He doesn't want to run in the back of the 946, as the 2 is going to push that 946 onto the track. I think we're going to see the 15 maybe force the issue, go 3 wide here. No, it looks like he's going to lay back as well, but he had such a good run off that corner. Right now he's just trying to get that car safely through this mess. He does not want to get any of those fenders pushed in as these guys fight hard for position here.
You're right, definitely guys getting a little more racy right here. But I tell you what, Mike, you know, we had a practice session last night, and there was a lot of, you were able, even with the the tire that Goodyear brought here, I mean, you were definitely able to be very racy, 2-3 wide easily. So we'll see how that works and how guys can handle themselves around each other. But definitely some good racing early.
I think it's interesting to see some of these guys flirting with that high line. Really don't see that too often until a little bit later on in the run as the tires come off. But some guys, I've seen John Pershing Jr., you already mentioned him already, he's really kind of taking advantage of that higher line and making that work.
Yeah, I really do think that higher line is going to keep those tires a little bit nicer for you in the longer run. So the faster you move up there, the longer you can run up there. So, we'll see how these guys do it as we turn lap 17 here.
Yeah, it looks like Nate LaFleur might have been involved with that.
Let's see if we can take a look at the replay here and see what happens as Nate is just barely rolling here.
Looks like he's got a little bit of damage as well, so...
Yeah, taking a look right now, yeah, car looks super loose here. He loses it but saves it, and then a little bit of help getting him turned around there. Does a good job, almost gets it on the brakes real hard and prevents it from going up into the wall, but not quite enough there. Let's take another look.
Yeah, he definitely got some help. I really didn't catch the number of the car that was behind him. Have we seen who that was yet?
Yeah, it was 14 of Timothy Lewis.
Yeah, we're riding on board right now with Timothy. You can see Nate gets real loose here coming up. Just riding on board. Tim gets back into the gas, and I think he thought he was going to clear him. Didn't know if he was going to go back high or not. Just kind of froze Tim there. And yeah, that's unfortunate to see him go around. And those two have raced together, a lot in the past. They always race well together, so I don't think there was anything intentional there. But hopefully Nate can get it all fixed up and get back on the track.
Yeah, some interesting strategy on pit road. Looks like the 94 of Kevin O'Brien elects to take just 2 tires. So definitely going to be see how this works out. Don't know if he's going to come back and get those left sides or not, but definitely chose 2 there. The only car to do that.
Yeah, just taking a look right now at the pit stops. We got a couple good stops there, but top 15 of that last lap all took 4. Looks like the 946 showing a 0.55 second pit stop, so I'm not sure if that's correct or not.
And I noticed Nate didn't get that repair, use his quick repair, and so his car is going back out on the track, still maintaining some of that damage. Hopefully can maybe needs to bring it in one more time to have him work on it a little bit more, but definitely not using the quick repair.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad move at lap 20 of 162. You don't want to use that repair up if you don't have to. He'll come in, they'll work on it, he'll get it as close to drivable as he can. As long as the handling is good, he really doesn't need aerodynamic body in this track. It's not going to hurt him too much, but it's got to be drivable. That rear end, it's not looking too good. So if you think you have a loose car, when your spoiler's damaged like that, it's going to make it even worse.
Yeah, but let's talk about team dynamics here a little bit, because we heard and we're monitoring social media throughout the week. Team CRC didn't exactly have Team WOW didn't really have a great showing at Daytona. In fact, I think their highest placed car was Brian Wynn, and I think he may have been even in the teens at Daytona. So it wasn't exactly a great showing. And I'm kind of wondering if that isn't getting underneath their skin a little bit. I'm not trying to shake the cage, so to speak, but at the same time, I am a little bit and trying to just wonder, have they got it in their heads that that they're dealing with some issues right now around the track? We're not seeing them be as dominant as we have seen necessarily in the past.
Well, after one race, I think we got to give them a couple races to stretch their feet, so to speak. So, yeah, they want to be up front. Everybody wants to be up front. So these guys will probably have their team meetings every week and figure out what they need to do to be up there. I'm sure Nate's frustrated though with that incident early on, but we still got 140 laps to go, so lots of racing left. Cars are getting double file here. We're going to be going back to the green this time. Top 5 right now as it stands. Calvin Allison, Sean Butler, Craig Sykes, DJ Anderson, and Jason Wells. That's your top 5 at lap 21. We'll see how this turns out. Right now, it looks like Sean Butler is on the outside. The 28 has elected for an inside starting position, which doesn't surprise me as we take the green here.
So along that same line of team dynamics, I was looking at Corey Wharton here a second, and then when I talked to him earlier, we had talked about a little bit about it last week, but he was with Team High Rev. I don't believe he has rejoined them this year. And I haven't seen anything in regards to him joining a new team. Do you guys know anything about that?
I have not heard anything about his team either.
Yeah, definitely. High Rev is kind of joined up with Hooligan, and so there is not so much High Rev anymore. We're definitely going to have to clear that situation up between those drivers. Mike Abbott not making the start here tonight, so tough, not to see him here tonight. But this Hooligan team. They're ones that when their drivers make the trek to the track, they definitely put on a pretty good show. So a couple of their drivers missing tonight, but we'll see how their season goes here for sure.
I just want to point out, man, James Skelton is on the track. He got his computer fixed, ran out to Best Buy, got a power supply, and he's turning some laps. He's 10 laps down, but it's good to see that 86 on the track. And you know what that means, boys?
I think that means we're going to give out some cash.
Yeah, that's the drive for 35. We got 35 cars on the track, so we'll be giving out $5 before the end of this broadcast.
Oh, caution's out.
Caution. Oh, that's going to be a tough break there. Stop right in the middle of the track is the 9 of Kevin Cochran. It's going to collect Sean Butler along with a couple others.
Ooh, that's not good. We're going to have to take a look at this one.
Yeah, and he actually collects another one just coming down the track.
That car looks like it just went out on him. I don't know if yeah, there's no inputs whatsoever. He kind of just got up into the wall. Maybe we have a situation where his computer failed, but
yeah, definitely a computer issue. I was looking at the replay there, and getting into one, the 9 just ran straight in the wall and was just sitting there. It's kind of a tough break. He definitely lost connection there for sure.
Yeah, that's tough. It's hard that we did not see that, and it's hard that iRacing did not pick that up. It looks like his computer came back, and he was trying to get it off the track there, but yeah, that's really unfortunate that iRacing did not throw the caution with him sitting in the middle of the track like that.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough break for a bunch of guys, man, especially right up front with the car just sitting there and them coming, a lot of guys having to swerve and miss, and not everybody can miss them. That's just a really, really tough break there.
Yeah, you might want to jump down and give everyone the heads up that yeah, there was no foul play there. That was just some bad luck. I would be steaming if I turned into turn 1 and there was a car sitting in the middle of the track like that. That's it's unfortunate.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, and obviously I've had technical difficulties. I mean, that is one of the products that you run into from time to time racing online. Whether it's your connection, whether it's your equipment, I mean, anything is subject to fail at any given notice. I mean, so we assume best intent there, and I'm sure it was technical difficulty that he couldn't avoid. So, these guys are just going to have to collect it and get squared away because we've got a lot more racing to go here.
Yeah, it's gonna, Sean Butler and whoever else was collected up in that thing, they're gonna have to use their quick repairs pretty early here, and that just removes him from that comfortable position being up front. And if any driver can get back from a situation like that, it is Sean. So, yeah, it's just really unfortunate. I hate seeing that, and I hope everyone understands that. We've seen some technical issues actually from a couple drivers this last week. Drivers, Jeremy Patterson's not here because he's having technical issues. Ricky Goodman had to do some work on his computer during the week to get his issues straightened out. And even you've got some stuff freezing tonight on us. So I think it's a common issue amongst everybody on track, and hopefully we can all get it sorted out.
Absolutely. Well, while we have a second, while we're under caution, let's go ahead and just highlight a driver here real quick, if we could. Looking at Jeff File, he's kind of the. I don't want to say he's the professional, go at it race every single night. He's more of the weekend warrior or the Pro Series warrior, where he comes out and he gets his fix taken care of, so to speak. But when he's not doing that, he's a full-time service manager at a GMC Buick Cadillac dealership in Southern Indiana. That takes a lot of his time. But he's also, it seems like from a family life perspective, he's got helping his wife with a resale consignment shop in their area. So I mean, he's definitely got his hands full. So you got to really hand it to him for coming out here making these races. A lot of these guys have a lot of stuff going on, but you got to really hand it to Jeff in that regards. And I think the last thing that I would say is, we've been talking about equipment and stuff like that. He's running triple monitors, guys, and with a Driving Force GT wheel. So on a Volair rig. I'm not familiar with the Volair rig. Is that?
I'm sure it's a pretty standard rig. I've never heard of them specifically, but anytime guys run a triple monitors, I always like seeing that. It really does add to the experience. And yeah, you speak to the commitment that some of these guys, put into iRacing, and we love seeing all these guys here week after week. And Jeff File's been here for at least a year or so. Love seeing him on the track.
So what'd you find out, Dustin?
Yeah, definitely found out that the had some electrical issues there on the 9 of Kevin Cochran. A tough break for a bunch of these guys. Got some guys that are probably not too happy, but they'll get themselves reset here and work their way back. Definitely going to be a different stance here. Some of them guys having to use that one quick repair, and definitely makes you look at the race and handle the race a little bit different than you would if you still had it.
As we take the green here, we've got a couple different drivers up front. DJ Anderson, number 1. Mark Bratcher, number 2. Calvin Allison sitting in third. He's going to try and get that lead back as quick as he can here, as he gives a good push to DJ into turn 1.
Yeah, Allison all over the back bumper of the 951. Definitely putting the pressure on Anderson to see if he can get him, loosened up a little bit. The cars are already pretty free too, and trying to maybe ruffle his feathers and try to get him to make a mistake.
Yeah, we got a bunch of cars going through turn 4 there, all side by side, couple 2, 3 wide. Everyone's keeping it together here. You can see those 2 cars are breaking away as the 3, 4, and 5 trying to manage their stuff here. We don't want to cause any more cautions. You got to keep that car clean. We might be out of our quick repair already.
As we look at the 28, make the move getting into 3 underneath the 951. Allison's definitely got a fast car here tonight, and he's definitely making that point on as the 951 makes a move right back underneath him, getting there to the line.
Yeah, Calvin got real loose coming out of 4 there. Just saves it, does a good job, and that's going to allow DJ to do that crossover move and put that pass on him there, as the 28's going to try and use that outside line right here. Some good racing going on for this top position, as Calvin is going to run that high line again. Looks like the 951 might just back it down a little bit, give him the spot, or is he going to run hard off of turn 4?
I tell you what, Calvin definitely had his hands full there. The outside in 3 and 4 is definitely doable, but definitely had to stay in it and hope the tire's stuck, because it's definitely a job to hold it off of 4 more so than it is off of 2.
Yeah, I think we see these guys, and I was listening to a podcast with with TJ Majors talking about what kind of line they're going to run this week, and I'm pretty sure you're going to see cars take that outside line through 1 and 2, inside through 3 and 4. That's really the preference.
Yeah, Mike, definitely a true statement there. You see a lot of these guys running the high side. Galvin's trying to run it all the way around. But I tell you what, as these tires fall off, you definitely want to take it easy out of 3 and 4 if you're on the top, because car doesn't take long to push up and definitely get snapped loose right off the floor. So you got to be careful with that.
Just taking a look at that 919 car of Sean Butler, back up to 11th place already after that last pit stop. He's looking to put some passes down as quick as he can. He's got the leader in sight, and he's sure itching to get back up to that front top too.
Yeah, I tell you, Sean Butler has definitely impressed me over the time that I've known him. Definitely a stand-up guy, along with one of those guys that just drive the heck out of the race car and get everything out of it that he needs on a nightly basis. So as we look at him making the pass for 10th there under Haney, definitely just one to watch this season. I had a tough break last week. He caught up in some stuff. I'll tell you what, that whole IMF team, you're definitely going to have to keep an eye on. Every one of those guys can win on a nightly basis.
So here's my thing when it comes to Sean Butler. I mean, you said it, Dustin. I mean, I think he's a heck of a guy. I mean, I think it's one of those. He's one of those individuals that he'll help you out. And even if you're not your teammate. So I mean, I think it's real impressive to see. One thing I want to speak to, and I'm curious as to what you guys think about it. But I heard him say once, as I'm always trying to pick up on little tips, so for these guys that are running so well. He speaks a lot about never pushing that center of that steering wheel past the A-arm on the left front quarter panel. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't realize that you could turn these wheels, 180 degrees, and a lot of drivers will naturally, if the car's not turning, why not turn the wheel more? And that's the natural instinct with people in any type of vehicle. But you could turn that once you get to a certain point. You could turn that wheel as much as you want, and all it's going to do is eat up that tire. So learning that fine line, learning that sweet spot, and using your throttle and brake to get the car to bite and turn without turning that wheel too much, it's going to speak to how he can keep his so well through a long run. Dustin?
Yeah, I definitely agree with both of you, man. And that's something I've had to learn myself. Being in here less than a year and a half in sim racing, I tell you what, you as a driver, you want to crank down on that wheel and get the most out of your car. But I tell you what, it does eat up your tires. And Sean, he just week in and week out, he's just a dominant driver over several different leagues that he runs in. So it's good to see him having a little bit of success tonight. It was a tough break last week. We're definitely looking for him to have a very good race here tonight, despite early trouble.
So here, let me throw a wild card in there for both of you. He also runs a Fanatic Club Sport Wheel V2 with the BMW rim. How much do you think that actually helps him out?
I think that the Club Sport has great feedback. Like it when you start wearing that tire, it can definitely give you that feedback that you don't have normally.
I definitely think it definitely helps him out. I've talked to him a little bit over it.
Alright, I think we're back. I'm having some issues with the quality of the stream here, but sorry about that disconnection there, guys.
Yeah, while we were away, just taking a look here, the 5 of Craig Sykes was running in the 4th or 5th position, maybe 3rd position. Anyway, he really got pretty loose as the tires were really starting to fall off. I'm hearing drivers over the radio really complain about the looseness of the race car. come off before and lost it. Was able to collect it, keep it straight, not collect anybody else. But definitely fell off here, and he fell to the 14th position.
Very interesting. To continue the conversation and just one little tidbit for you guys to chew on. We were talking about Sean Butler, but I will point out real quick for those that don't know, David Howard Jr., who's also on that team, just went to the store and dropped some cash for almost the very same setup with the Fanatic wheel and pedals. So I would say Insanely Fast Motorsports is not messing around this year.
Yeah, and actually to add to that, we hadn't talked about Timothy Lewis, but that man has really dropped a couple of coins on his steering rig. He's got an AccuForce, which is about $1,100 or $1,200 wheel on the cheap end. So those IMF drivers are definitely putting money into their equipment where it counts, and definitely got a lot of high dollar rigs that they run for sure.
Man, that would be awesome to definitely try out. I think it's one of those things that, I can't complain. I got a G27 myself, but when you can spend a little bit extra money and get something that's going to give you that realistic feel, I think it's pretty hard to pass up.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I was talking a little bit about Timothy, and he was telling me about his new AccuForce Pro wheel. They only make about 7 of those every 3 or 4 months. And that's a really top-notch, complete direct drive belt wheel that those guys enjoy. And I tell you what, man, I was really at one time looking to get one, and he says the feel and the software it comes with just puts it over everything else that he's driven.